So very good morning, everyone. Fine. So last day we just been concluding at this one year. We just been stopped over there. All these things we are clear. Hardware, software expenses, everything. Yeah. Okay. So last day I was just talking about the IP address. If you remember. So what did I say about the IP address? IP address is a unique identification for each and every. It's going to be a unique identification for each and every control. In a sense, how you can just say it is. Yeah, for everything it is a unique identification. IP address is a unique identification for each and every machine. So every machine must and should requires the IP address. So it's compulsory. Like every machine should have an IP address now. Okay. So that's what exactly we just been talked up in the previous class about the IP address and how this IP address is going to be present. Fine. Now, this is where we just been stopped at, guys. Few things left out. Let me conclude off so that we can go forward. Yeah. So we talked about what is the domain name. We talked about registering a domain and what are the characteristics of a domain name: short, meaningful, clear, exposure. Yeah, there we stopped it here. What is web hosting? Web hosting is a service provided by companies, nothing but the web host, that sell or lease space on a server. They will either be selling you or leasing you space on the server where you can store the files that you make your website accessible on the internet. So you're just going to store your files so that your website is accessible to the people in the internet. This typically requires that you own a domain, and these companies may help you in purchase one. You require to own a domain also here, and the companies basically are going to help you in purchasing the domain. The companies will basically help you in purchasing the domain. So when you want to purchase the domain, the companies are just going to help you in purchasing the domain actually. Okay. So that's what web hosting is all about. So web hosting is a simple process like using which we can just going to host our application on a public server. Now what is shared hosting? We have one more thing called shared hosting. Shared hosting is nothing but one server used by multiple people. One server used by multiple people. Shared hosting is a popular hosting option where a provider hosts multiple websites on one physical web server. They'll be hosting for you multiple websites on one physical server. So multiple websites are going to be hosted for you on one physical server basically. Okay. So shared hosting is a popular hosting option that is available for you. And generally all the public server companies will do the same thing only. Typically most websites don't use many server resources. So shared hosting lets provider offer stable services at a low cost. Shared hosting allows you to share hosting space and cost with others while benefiting from the speed and space you need for your small business websites. Generally, when your website is going to be a small website, this is the best option basically. This is a best option what we can just use. Okay. And domain name servers. We also talked on this domain name servers. If you remember, it's an internet equivalent of a phone book. Last class I said to you, it's just similar to a telephone directory. They maintain a directory of domain names and translate them to IP addresses. This is necessary because although domain names are easy for people to remember, computers or machines access websites based on IP address on. Because computers and machine, they don't know names. What they know is only IP address. Information from all the domain name servers across the internet are gathered and hosted at a central registry. They are all put under one location. Hosting companies and internet service providers interact with the central registry on a regular schedule to get updated DNS information. Once that is updated, they'll be contacting and getting the latest information from there. Yeah, finally, this is what I just wanted to conclude. Yesterday we stopped it here on it. Who exactly gives us the IP address? Who exactly gives us the IP address? Can I have an IP address of my own? Did you get my question? Can I have an IP address of my own? Can I just go for using any IP address of my own? No, not possible. Now you cannot use an IP address whatever you want. So you cannot use a IP address whatever you want. You just require, someone has to assign you actually. And this assignment, if you just understand, the assignment should be done throughout the world. Not for you or not for your country or not for your state. It has to be done throughout the world. Throughout the world, this IP address, the concept of IP addresses should be given up. Throughout the world, the IP addresses has to be given up. They have to give you the IP addresses throughout the world. So there is a central authority. There is a central authority who will be managing the IP addresses actually. There will be a central authority who will be managing the IP addresses actually. So what does it say? The Internet Assigned Number Authority manages IP address space allocation globally. That is called as IANA, Internet Assigned Number Authority. Manages IP address space allocation globally and delegates 5 regional internet registries, RIRs, to allocate IP address blocks to local internet registries and other entities. Means on the top, what do you have, IANA. So that is going to manage throughout the world. What are the IP addresses? See, suppose in India, mobile numbers are there. TRAI is the central controller for all the mobile operators. Am I correct? So this TRAI basically, when it is going to, means initially guys, when mobiles came at that point of time, like TRAI has given a series to each and every operator. For Airtel, it used to be like 98490. For Idea, it used to be 98480. Like this, the series are allocated by them. And after that, they will be selling up. They'll be selling up. But who controls all the things? TRAI. So now also, TRAI will just give a series to an operator, and that operator will be giving all the numbers in that series now. So like this, the series allocation, what numbers, because again, this should not clash. You got a number from Airtel and the same number again given tomorrow in Idea, that's a problem now. So there should always be a control. So TRAI on the top will be controlling all these things, and they will be responsible for just giving the series for each and every mobile operator. Same way, the whole worldwide controller is going to be IANA. What is that? Internet Assigned Number Authority. This is going to manage you the IP address space allocation globally and delegates 5 regional internet registries to allocate IP address blocks to local internet registries and other. So what are RIRs? RIRs are like our mobile operators. RIR is like our mobile operator. And see, these mobile operators will be selling the phone numbers. When they sell the phone numbers, one thing you remember, the mobile operator will not sell the phone number directly to the customer. There will be a retailer. There will be a retailer. Say you are present in some area, and in every place there is no guarantee you will have an Idea showroom or an Airtel showroom. Yeah, but there is a guarantee they will be having a local mobile store. In every village or in every place, these two are common. One is a mobile store and second one is a liquor store. These two are common. When you get food or not, but these two are available everywhere. So the thing is, you just get a mobile, everyone, a retailer. So once you go to a retailer, the retailer basically sells you the mobile number. Am I right? The retailer basically sells you the mobile numbers to you. So exactly, RIRs is the second level, and below that you just have again local things here. So who is on the top? IANA. So IANA is just like the manufacturer. IANA is like a manufacturer. Manufacturer don't sell directly. Manufacturer will first send the stock to whom? Distributor. Manufacturer sends the stock to the distributor. In everywhere you will be having a distributor. The stock comes to distributor. Distributor also will not sell the stock directly. Distributor will sell to retailer, and you go and purchase whatever you want from a retailer, correct? So here IANA is the manufacturer. And DC under IANA what we have? RIRs. What are these RIRs? RIRs are like our distributors. And distributors will give it to whom? ISPs, internet service providers, from where I just purchase my IP address and all the things. So actually, it is first divided into 4 regions, and these are the 4 regions. A regional internet registry is an organization that manages the allocation and registration of internet number resources within a particular region of the world. The regional internet registry system eventually divided the world into 5 RIRs. Means 5 distributors throughout the world. Who are they? African Network Information Center, AFRINC, for all the African countries. For all the African region, they will manage. American Registry for Internet Number for the United States, Canada, and Caribbean region and Antarctica. Asia Pacific Network Communication Center, APNIC, for Asia, Australia, New Zealand, and neighbor countries. And the Latin American and Caribbean Network Information Center, LACNIC, for Latin America and parts of the Caribbean region. And finally, the SOX IP European Network Coordination Center, RIPE NCC, for Europe, Russia, Middle East, and Central Asia. So they're just divided into 5 RIRs, and these 5 RIRs are actually responsible for just allocating the IP address to the appropriate regions. So first, it comes to where? It is first allocated to the RIR. RIR will subdivide them back to whom? Back to our retailers. Retailer is nothing but, who is the retailer for us? The retailers are nothing but these people. Who is it? The retailers are our ISPs. Who is that? Internet service providers. The ISP, nothing but the internet service provider. Okay, so that will be the process how the things are just going to be managed in the industry. How the things are managed for you in the industry. Okay, so fine. Now let's talk about some few things. So first, you got an idea about what is internet and how it works, right? Okay. The next thing what I just wanted to tell you all here is, it's about, guys, just see, all of you in your HTML classes, you all learned about, this one here, how to create a web page. Correct? So all of you are aware how to create a web page, right? So I don't require to teach you how to create a web page for any one of you. You know how to create a web page. But just listen to me. You are creating a web page. You're just creating a web page. And after creating the web page, your web page can be hosted anywhere. Your web page. How do you access a web page after creating a web page? How are you accessing the web page? Tell me. You go to browser. And in the browser, you open the web page. And you see the output. Everything is perfect. Correct? But my point here is, how do the end user access these web pages? You developed a web page here, you're perfect. But how do the end users access these web pages? The web pages, whatever you develop here, should be accessible to the end users now. Am I right? So how the web page is going to be accessible to the end users? How an end user can access the web page what I have just developed? You have the web page on your local computer. How the client can access your web page? How the users or the clients can access these web pages? Louder. We need to deploy the code where? We need to deploy the code on a public server. You need to deploy the code on a public server. Okay, yaar. Public servers and all secondary. Let it put it aside. You are in an organization, you develop a web page. You develop a web page and you want other people in the organization to see your web pages. Public, global and all, let's put it aside. Okay, just only simply what I'm telling is you developed a web page here. And now you want all the people in your organization to view those web pages now. In your organization, that's all. I'm not going global. Global we'll talk later. Okay. Within the organization, I want all my people in the organization to view my web page. So what should I do now? Connected with a server. What is that server? If they're in the network, all will be network only. All will be network only. But even though they're in a network, how do we call them? That is the question. All the systems are in the LAN. But even though in a LAN, how do they call? How do they access? Are you going to copy them onto your machine? Huh? Then you're telling LAN, what will LAN do? Using LAN, you can copy onto your machine. But you cannot access them. Huh? Did you catch my point? If they're in LAN, you can just only what you can do, you can just copy onto your machines now. But here our requirement is not to copy. Here our requirement is not to copy. Did you catch my point? What's the requirement? Our requirement is only to access. Our point or our requirement is only to access them. That's all. Then how people are going to access them now? That is the point. Is the question clearer, all of you? How the people are going to access them? How people are going to access them from remote locations? How are the people going to access from the remote locations? That's the big question. Within the network. If that is the case, URI, IP, what will they do here? All of you are telling URI, IP. What will they do? Tell me. You have a URI or you have an IP, but what you are going to do with that? If all this has to work, remember, you need a web server first. Without that, you can't do anything. You have a URI. URI for what? You'll give the page address, huh? Oh, no. How? The first important thing is, if at all you wanted to accessible, if you want this to be accessible to other people, what you need first is a web server. Are you guys clearer what I'm telling you? What you need first is a web server. You need a web server first. Without a web server, these are not accessible to the people. If you want, everything should be accessible to the people, other people in the network. Only within the network I'm telling you. Only within the network I'm telling you. I need a software to be present on my computer, and that software is nothing but a web server. I need a software to be present on my computer, and that particular software is nothing but the web server. A web server is required now if you want other people to access this website now. I hope you guys are clear. Yes or not? So what do you require? A web server. A web server is a software that is basically required if you want other people to access your website from the remote computers. Okay, so what is the web server? Web server, as I said you earlier, the web server is nothing but a software. The web server is nothing but a software. And this particular software mainly works on two principles: request and response. Request and response. So now, what is your goal? All of you are planning to build web applications, correct? All of you are planning to build a web application. Alright, till now, what did you simply do? In the HTML classes, your teacher have taught you how to create a web page. Your teacher has taught you how to create a web page. Okay, now you learned how to create web pages. After creating this particular web pages, You access those web pages from your local machines. You accessed those web pages from your local machines. How? Simply you open the browser, type the physical part of the page. Correct? You saved on D drive. Some folder you created called HTML. Under that, you created a web page called as login.html. What do you say? You simply type that address and you access it. But how? My pages are ready now. I want to show the demo of my pages to my lead. I want to show the demo of my pages to my lead. When my lead is asking me, show me a demo of all the pages what you created. Okay. Now how the all of you, a group of people went to the conference room now, in a conference at the computer. So yours is a desktop, not a laptop. Yours is a desktop, not a laptop. When yours is a desktop now, how are you going to deliver this to the people who are sitting in the conference room? If your laptop, you'll carry the laptop and show. But yours is not a laptop, you're using a desktop now. You're using a desktop now. And you want everyone to view your pages. Okay? If that is the case, anyhow, in the organization, all the computers will be in a network. Correct? In organization, all computers will be in the network. That is sure. All computers in the organization will be in a network. When all computers in the organization are present in a network, at that particular point of time, how do we provide access for these particular pages to the clients? Means, how do we give access to other people is by hosting our web pages on a software called as web server. We already learned here a web server is a collection of websites, and a website is a collection of web pages. A collection of all the web pages together is what we call as a website. So the first important thing is we need a software called as a web server. And talking about the web server, talking about this particular web server, there are so many web server softwares that are present in the industry. There are so many web server softwares that are present for you in the industry. So many web server softwares are there, not like one or two web servers what we just have. So many are there. Okay, we have from Microsoft, we have a very popular web server called as IIS, Internet Information Server or Internet Information Services. There is a very popular web server called as a Tomcat web server. Okay, there is a web server available from even IBM web server. There is a web server available called as a WebSphere. That's also a web server. So like this, there are different varieties of web servers available, and people have a choice of using a web server of their choice. See, generally you see guys, when you people are just working with a database, there are so many database servers available in the market. Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Sybase, Ingress. If you see, there are lot means lot of web server, a lot of database servers that are available in the industry. But even though there are a lot of database servers that are available for you in the industry, you people have a chance. What chance? A chance of choosing the database of your choice. Am I correct? Everyone can choose a database of their choice or not? Yeah, 100%. Everyone has a chance of choosing a database of their choice. It's not like compulsory all the people should use the same database, right? Okay, so all of them have a right of accessing or using a database of their choice. So exactly in the same way, you remember, we have various different web servers in the industry. And all companies have a great choice of choosing a web server according to their interest. Okay, and compatibility is another important thing what all of us have to remember every time. Compatibility is another important thing. What is compatibility? Even though we try to use different company web servers, compatibility is one important thing what all of us have to take into consideration. When you're building .NET applications, what is the most compatible database? SQL Server. Can't I use Oracle? You can, but compatibility wise, SQL Server is more compatible for us. Did you catch my point or not? Compatibility wise, SQL Server is more compatible. So same way, you can use any web server of your choice. No issue with that. But when you talk about the compatibility, IIS web server is the most compatible web server for us. Which one? IIS web server is the most compatible web servers what we use in the industry. So in the industry, simply speaking, everyone prefer the IIS web server because IIS web server is more compatible for the .NET applications. So now, if at all you just wanted to build your web pages, if at all you just wanted to consume your web pages from another computer, the first and the important thing you're required to confirm is, do you have the IIS web server installed on your machines? Do you have the IIS web server installed on your machines? Is the first important thing all of you have to put in mind. Okay, so let us just try to understand about that first. Do you have the IIS installed on your machine? So actually guys, this IIS web server is a part of your Windows operating system. Mostly in all your computers, the IIS web server comes to you by default. Mostly in all the computers, IIS web server comes to you by default. By default, the IIS web server comes to you automatically for all of you. You don't require to separately worry about installing this. This is automatically available to you on all your machines. Is it clearer or not? It is automatically available to you on all your machines. In all your machines, that is already available. Okay. So now let us confirm whether that is available or not. Let us first confirm whether that is available or not. Is it present on my machine? Is what I just wanted to confirm first now. So how do we check that? Very simple guys, all of you. What you'll do, open a browser. Open a browser of your choice, anything you like. And simply in the browser type HTTP localhost. HTTP localhost. That's all. HTTP://localhost and hit the enter key. When you hit the enter key, if IIS is installed on your machine, it should open you the IIS homepage. If IIS is installed on your machine, it should open you the IIS homepage. You can see that. Internet Information Services. That's already available on my machine. That is already available on my machine. I have IIS installed on my machine now. Okay now. Okay, IIS is ready now. What next? The next important thing here is, okay, IIS is already available to you. IIS is already available to you. So we just have IIS on your system now. What next? The next important thing is, once you have the IIS now, you can just use your IIS. But if IIS is not available, what to do? If IIS is not available, what to do? Maximum in all your machines, IIS will be available. If not available, how to install it? Okay, watch. IIS is available. If not available, how do you install this? Look at this, all of you. Go to control panel. Control panel. You know control panel now? Go to control panel. In the control panel, guys, you'll be finding an option called administrative tools. Administrative tools. And listen, all of you, if you're working on Windows 11, latest Windows 11, the administrative tools, most of you might know about these administrative tools. The administrative tools is now changed to Windows tools. You won't find administrative tools anymore. It is Windows tools. Until Windows 10, it is called as administrative tools, and now it is called as Windows tools. Is that clear? You'll be finding up the Windows tools option. Mine is the latest OS, so that's why I have the Windows tools, but not the administrative tools. Okay? Check on your machine. If you find administrative tools, well and good, no issue. If you don't find, then you should find Windows tools. Okay now? So open the Windows tools. And once when you open the Windows, oh, sorry guys. I'm sorry. No need to go to Windows tools. I'm sorry guys. Open the control panel. I'm sorry. Open the control panel In the control panel, you'll be finding an option called programs and features. Programs and features. See, basically, when you open the control panel, initially, it will show you categorized view like this. It's called a categorized view. If you see a categorized view like this, then select what? Programs. Then select programs. No, you have a large icon or a small icon view. Suppose you both are same only, large icon, small icon view, then you're required to choose programs and features. Is it clear? So go to that programs and features. Array, guys, you might know this window, all of you, from where you can view the list of your softwares, uninstall anything and all. You are aware of this, now? Yeah, basically that is going to be present for you here. Now what you do, in the left hand side, you'll be finding up an option. Turn Windows features on or off. Turn Windows features on or off. Click on that. Will open a window called as Windows features. Will open you a window called as Windows features. Turn Windows features on or off. In this, all of you will be finding up the option Internet Information Services. Are you clear? Select this checkbox, not this checkbox here. Under that, there are so many subject boxes will be there. Under that, so many subject boxes will be there. All of you, just watch it. Under this, so many subject boxes. If you expand it, under that again you find FTP server, web management tool, World Wide Web Services. If you expand it, again you find some subject boxes there. Yes or not? Make sure all these check boxes are selected. Am I clearer? Make sure all these check boxes are selected. Under what? Under Internet Information, not below that. Under Internet Information Services, whatever check boxes are there, make sure all of them are selected and click on the OK button, and that will install you IIS on your machines. Is my point clear, all of you? Okay, so with this, IIS gets installed for you on your computers. With this, IIS gets installed for you on your computers. Once after installing, restart your machine, and afterwards, again come back to your browser and just search it out. What? http://localhost. Hit enter and the IIS should open. Okay now? Is it clear? Okay. So I'll do one thing, guys. All of you observe it. Now the next question will be, how can I access my web pages through IIS? Through IIS, how do I access the web pages? So let's see this process. In my E drive, I am creating a new folder. I will name it as MVC7, or just our timings, that's all, MVC7. So let's create a folder called MVC7. Now in this folder, I just wanted to create a small sample web page, a small HTML page. A small HTML page is what I want to create. You know how to create a HTML page. I don't require to give you an information or introduction for this. Okay, just I want to create a small HTML page there. Hold on a minute. A login page is what I wanted to create. Just open your notepad. Open your notepad. And in the notepad, I'm just creating a simple login page. You know that on the top you write doc type, HTML head title, something like a login page. You're giving a title, login page. By head, by body. Then you're taking a table, caption, login page. And then you're using a table row, username, and then one text box. And whenever you're creating input controls, two important attributes here. One is ID, name. What is the use of ID? What is the use of ID? What is the use of name? ID is unique, name is unique. Then what is name then? First, do you know that you require to give both these attributes, ID and name? You just require to give both these attributes. One is ID and one is name. ID is for unique identification. ID is for unique identification. Okay? And what is your name? Everyone is telling ID only, but I am not getting the answer for name. Why name? Name is for reading these values on this server. Tomorrow, you enter the username, password, and click on the login button. The server should read the username and password now. Name is used on the server side for reading these control values. Are you clear? ID is for unique identification. And the second reason why we use this ID is to access this control in the JavaScript. Referring this control in the JavaScript. When you're writing the JavaScript code, to refer to the control in the JavaScript, we use the ID. But that is only up to client side, but not the server side. When you want to read this value on the server side, now the server should read the value and validate whether the user ID password are correct or not. Now, if you want to read this value on the server side, if you want to read this particular value on the server side, what do you require? What do you require is the name. Guys, is my voice breaking? Yeah, Surendra, who is that? Martur Surendra, someone. Check your internet connection here. There's no problem from my side. It's perfect for all. Maybe your network issue. Okay. So, ID for two reasons. Unique identification. Second one, to read this control on the server. ID is for unique identification, and the second reason is to read this control on the server. Second thing is name. So what is the use of name? Name is basically for reading this control value on the server. I want to read this control on the server now. I read it by using the name. So basically, the values from the client machine will be transferred to the server. The values from the client machine will be transferred to the server in a name value combination. In a name value combination. In this, I enter my name now. How it is carried to the server? TXT name is equals to, suppose I enter my name is Bangar Raju. TXT name is equals to Bangar Raju. Is going to be transferred to server. Now on the server, you can use the key and read that value now. Understood all of you? Yes or not? That is the use of the name. So generally every control will have an ID and also will have the name. Mostly we use same. Most of the times we will be using the same only without confusion. Otherwise, remembering this one, remembering that will become a headache. So that's why generally ID and name will have the same values only in this context. So don't forget this. For every control, ID will be there. Name also will be there from now onwards. Fine. And then you have two buttons here. One is submit. The value is login button. And here ID. No need IDs and this one for login for your submit and reset buttons. Why is it? Because we don't read these values on the server. We don't read these values on the server, and also generally we don't write any coding for this login buttons and all. Normal buttons we do. For login means, sorry, submit buttons we don't. Submit means we'll submit the data to server, that's all. It has a predefined functionality. Mostly we don't require an ID and a name for submit button and the login button. So here I'm just putting it as reset. So input type submit, input type reset. Value is login, value is reset. Okay, and these two have built-in functionality. You don't require to write any logic for them. They're all going to have the built-in functionality there. What are the built-in functionalities? The built-in functionality, one is to clear all the controls, and this functionality is, the functionality of the submit button is sending a request to server. Sending a request to server. We'll see that in detail, but is all the things. And here we missed a small thing. What's it? If all these controls has to work, means when you click on the button, something should happen, or all these things should work. What did you learn in your HTML classes? The whole control should be present for you inside a form tag. All these controls should be inside a form tag. Now the form tag is missing here. Let me add. What tag? Form tag. We are just going to put a form tag now, and inside of the form tag, we have all these contents present. Guys, what are the attributes of the form tag? ID, okay. Class, oh, still. Is that ID class important? They're not important. Tell me something useful and meaningful here. Action. The first important attribute of the form tag is action attribute. What is that action attribute? When I click on the login button here, it will contact the server. It will contact on the server which page is going to read the data or read this information, or whom am I contacting now. When I click on the login, whom am I contacting on the server? That is what we call action. If you don't specify the action, the default action is always same page. If you don't specify the action, the default action is always same page. Means you're submitting the data back to the same page. Second important attribute is method. Get and post. Are you not explained about this? Get method, post method. What is get? We'll see about the get and post in detail in our classes, but these are the two important attributes. Array, ID every control will have, yeah. Name every control will have. Class every control will have. Don't talk about them. They're common for all. You always, when I ask you about this, what you require, what is the specific to your form? That is important. What is specific to your form? The first one is action. So action is to tell to whom I am submitting the page. Second one is method that talks about get or post. Yeah, someone said ENC type. Yeah, this is also very, very important here. ENC type. ENC type, but not mandatory. ENC type, I'll tell you. ENC type, basically when you're uploading images and all, we just require to specify that ENC type and all. I'll explain about the ENC type, but that's not like a mandatory thing. Mandatory, what are this? Method and action. If I don't give an action attribute, default action is same page. If I don't give a method attribute, the default method is get or poster. Get, not post. The default method is get. Is that clear? So right now I'm not specifying both the two things. So my default method is get and my default action is same page. Okay now? Fine. Yeah, we'll talk in detail about this later, about get and post. I'm not going more on that. So this is a simple HTML page I created. Let me save in the folder what I created now. Save as, and I will save in our folder. What's the folder name? MVC7. E drive. MVC7. Save it. Login dot HTML. Login dot HTML. Click on the save button. Fine. Now your page is ready. Now if you want to test the page, what will you do? You'll open a browser. You'll be entering the physical address of the page now. Or the physical address of the page, E drive. MVC7. Login.html. This is what your teacher have taught you in your classes, how to access your pages, correct? This is what your teacher have taught you. But the point I'm telling is, tomorrow you want to access this page from another machine in the network. You developed all the pages and now your team lead or your project lead is asking, just can you access your pages? I want to see your pages. Okay, not like carrying your laptop and showing me. No, you won't. He will sit on his machine, you want to access. All systems are in network, that is sure. All the systems are in network. Everything, all the computers in the organization will be in a LAN. That is compulsory. Now within the LAN only, from one machine to another machine I want to access. Understood my point here? So what should I do? I need to put my web page on the web server. Is it clear? Now how to access the web pages through a web server? If I put my web pages on the web server, you can access anywhere in the network. You can access them anywhere in the network. Out of the organization, let's go step by step. Now we are limiting only to within the organization. Intranet, not internet. Intranet, within the network. Within the network. Okay, within the network, I require to put this web page on IIS. So how to put this web page on IIS and access now? You're telling you need to put the web page on the IIS, fine. But how to put this web page on IIS and access it? That will be the big question in our minds now. How to put a web page on the IIS and how I can access these web pages now from remote computers. Okay. If you want to put your web pages on IIS and access, guys listen. If you want to put your web pages on IIS and access, basically we have three different options that are available for doing that. We have three different options that are available for doing the task. Three ways you can do that. What are the three ways? Actually, IIS, an IIS, simply speaking, an IIS is a collection of, listen, an IIS is a collection of websites. IIS is a collection of websites. Yeah, you'll be having websites on IIS. So IIS is a collection of websites. So all of you, you install IIS now. IIS is available. Let's open it first. How to open? There is a window. There is a tool called as IIS Manager. IIS Manager, Internet Information Services Manager, and that is basically going to help you in managing the whole IIS and all the websites, everything. You manage all from there only. What is it called? IIS Manager. Okay. So let me show you that IIS Manager. So IIS Manager. How to open it? INET MGR. What is shortcut? INET MGR. When you do that, see, showing you IIS Manager. So if IIS installed, that should come on your machine now. Okay now? Open it. Just a minute. Let me clean up. Let me clean up the things. Yeah, just concentrate, guys. When you open the IIS, first, okay, you'll get a window like this, the IIS Manager. In the left-hand side, you'll be finding connections panel. Under that, it will show you your server name. And your server name is always your machine name only, remember. Your server name is always your machine name. And my machine name is server. And what you see is server. Is it clear? Okay, this is my machine name, server. Now, if you guys look at this one, if you just guys look at this one, when you expand the servers, you'll be finding two things here. One is application pools and second one is sites. One is called application pools here, second one is called sites. Okay, now talking about this particular sites here, what is that? IIS is a collection of websites. So all the websites should come here now. By default, when IIS is installed on your computer, it will create you one website to you already. One website is already created. And the name of the website is default website. The name of the website is default website. If you expand it, you will see there, see? Default website. So that's already created and available on your machine. Are you clear? Now, this website is present here. But where are the web pages? Web pages will be on the hard disk. Web pages will be on the hard disk. After creating a website, this website is mapped to a physical folder on your computer. It is mapped to a physical folder on your computer. So when the request comes to the website will go to the folder, pick the web page and give it to the clients. Did you understand my point or not? You're not going to copy on, put all the pages here. These pages are on your hard disk only. What we do is, this website is now mapped to a physical folder on your computer. And now if you put your pages in that particular folder, you can send a request to website. Website will pick the page from the folder and gives it as a response. Is my point clearer? Yes or not? Okay. How do we do that? By default, we have website now. This website has a physical folder associated now. What is a physical folder? The physical folder that is associated is on C drive. You'll find a folder called inetpub. inetpub. Under that, you'll find a folder called as www root. That is the physical folder mapped to this website. Got the point or not? That is the physical folder mapped to this website. You see now, right click on this. You'll find an option called Manage Website. Under that, Advanced Settings. If you go here, you guys can see the physical path of your default website. Percentile system drive percentile. What is that? That referring to your operating system drive here. What is your OS drive? On all your computers, maximum operating system drive is C drive only now. That's what. Under that, open the mouth here. inetpub. Under that, www root. That is the physical folder which is mapped to this now. And now, any files you put under that folder can be accessed through the default website. Can be accessed through the default website. Did you catch my point? Right now, there is already one web page present in that folder. There is already one web page present in that folder, and that is the web page opened for you when you type HTTP localhost. When you type HTTP localhost, you got a web page now. This came from that location only. I'll show you. Watch. Open your machine. C drive. Which folder? inetpub. This is the page that you called. Shall I open it physically? Watch it. I'm double clicking on it. Now I'm opening with a physical path. Now it opens in a physical path, not through IIS. Watch the address, all of you. Are you clear? And that is your web page. And that is the web page. How I got it? I got it through IIS. See, this is accessible only for local machine, not for remote machines now. This is accessible only for local machine, not for remote machine. I cannot call it like this. Now, for remote machines, how to call? I need to call it through IIS. Through IIS I can call. Got it? So now, sir, if I paste my login.html here, can I call it through IIS? Yes, you can. Shall we try that? So let's do one thing. On the E drive, MVC7, we created one HTML page. What is the name? Copy, come to C drive, inetpub, www root, and paste it here. Yeah, you can change. You can change Ahmad, but don't change. You can change, but don't change. Okay, it's asking, can I change this part of the default website? You can change, but don't change that. Okay, so you can just observe. Now login.html is present in www root now. Now I want to access it through IIS. Through IIS, how to access? HTTP:// you can use, you need to specify the server name now. You need to specify the server name. What's the server name? Server. Server is my server name, correct? Server. Okay. /server/ what is the page name? Login.html, and hit enter. The page should be accessible to you, and see now the page is accessible to you. Now you can go to another remote computer in the network, and try this. Your page will come there. Did you get my point? Now I put all these things in my IIS. You went to your lead and you said, now I developed all the pages. Okay, come on, tell me, what's your server name? HTTP:// what is your server name? You said your machine name, / and you can call the pages now from there now. So within the network, all your pages are accessible to all the users. Everyone in the organization can access that pages now. Is my point clear? Yes or not? Okay, HTTP, server name. You can also try localhost. Localhost means local machine, but that will work only from local computer, not from remote computer. From remote computer, what you require to use is server name. For local computer, you can also try HTTP localhost / login.html. Like this also we can call. Is it clear? From local machines, simply call like this. So this is for local machine. Now I want to access from remote machine. Replace localhost with server. Replace localhost with server now. Understood? And server is the machine name here, and that is my machine name. I don't know your machine name. I'm telling server means you also don't try server. You need to use your machine name there. What is your machine name? Array, here it will show you. When you open the connections panel, here only it will show you server. See, this is my machine name, and this is the user account with which I logged into my machine, admin. Clear? That's what exactly it will show you. It is same like your Windows authentication of your SQL server. Yeah, same only. Okay, so you can access it either from local or a remote computer also from now onwards. Is my point clear? How to access the first option is clear. Where to copy that? IIS is not available. Install. Yeah, install. That's what I said you. If IIS is not available, install. I said you. Again, my question for that. Okay, so what is that? You're accessing from where? From your IIS. You're accessing it from your IIS by copying into inetpub www root folder. But that's not right. Why that's not right? Tomorrow 10 projects are there. Yeah, every project has 100 pages. Will you copy all into one? If you copy like this, what is the problem? 10 websites, every website has 100 pages, 1000 pages there. You don't know which pages are corresponding to which site. Second problem, people can access all the 1000 pages now. In every website, you can access all the 1000 pages. That's it, nah. So that's wrong. That is going to be a wrong option. So then second option is, without copying your pages into, yes, without copying your pages into inetpub www root, what you can do, you can create an application under, under your website, and you can map it to your own folder. You can create a application under your website and map it to your folder. What is the application? It is just like creating a folder here. You have a folder under a subfolder we create now. So this is also same thing. All under a website. Under a website, I can right click, and here you will be finding an option. What is it? You click on the add application. It will ask you, what is the name of the application? You give some name of your choice. I'm giving the name as my site. Okay, then it will ask you, what is the physical path of your folder? From where I should pick the files? From where I should pick the files? Select it. What is your folder? E drive MVC7, correct? Mapped it. Okay, and click on nothing here. I entered only Elias name, I entered only path, that's all. Click on the OK button. And you see now, this my site is added under default website. Okay, now in the browser, all of you remember, in the browser, how do you call, HTTP, localhost, or in the place of the localhost, write server, localhost / what is the name of your application? My site. In the my site, you can have pages now. Today we have one page only, multiple pages. Login.html. Got it? Now you put all your pages in your own folder here. Everything is accessible from here now. So this is for local machines. This is for local machines again. Come and tell me for remote machines. What you'll do? HTTP, replace localhost with server, my site, login.html. This is for remote machines. This is for remote machines. If at all you are on a remote machine, you can just use. You can use IP address also. In the network, every system in the network will have an IP address now. In the place of server name, in the place of server, you can also use the IP address of it. So just simply guys remember, server refers to the machine name. Nothing but domain name here. And in that place, you can also use the IP address of the machine. You can also use the IP address of the machine, guys. Server refers to machine name. Okay, which is nothing but domain name. Which is nothing but domain name. And in that place, you can also use IP address of the machine. Clearer? Understood? So which one is better? Which one is better? Copying into IREPOP www or just going to maintain a separate application, creating a separate application? You can create a website also. You can create a website also. If you create a website there without writing server name, you can write your site name. Suppose I'm creating a website with the name called as xyz.com. My website name is xyz.com. So I can just simply use here without using localhost. I can use my website name xyz.com/login.html. xyz.com/login.html. I can use it like this also. Okay. I'll tell you how to create these websites and all. We require to do some system settings for that. So I will teach that in the next class, how to create a website. And all of you, I'll post the notes guys in the Google Drive. I'll post the notes in the Google Drive. So all of you, this is admin contact number, and most of you people are full stack students who completed your fees payments. You completed your fees payments, no worries. So because you all completed your fees payments, just contact the admin and get added in the Google Drive. And who are new, just I'm providing, your admin is the same here, Arvind. All of you, for you, the admin is Arvind, only for your C# also, na? Just a minute for other people who are not aware. I'm just providing is the admin contact. Contact him. Please. 9154898074. This is the admin contact number here. The admin is Aravind. So all of you who completed your phase, completed your payments, show the receipt. He will add you in the Google Drive. Who are still new students, contact him. He will help you in the payment. He will help you in the fees payment. Okay, just contact him and that person can help you in the payment of the fees. Clear? I will post the notes on the Google Drive. You can just go for downloading it from the Google Drive. Okay, so you will be getting access to the Google Drive. So anyone, all of you know about it, who are not aware of it, tomorrow I'll show you in detail how to access the Google Drive also. Meanwhile, contact him and complete your things. So tomorrow I'll teach you how you can give your own domain names without using that server or something. How can you use your own domain name? Site names you can give on your own. I'll show you in the tomorrow session. Let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow. I still did not get it here. Once I get it, I'll send you. Already shown you. This is the number I just shown you here. This is the admin contact. Yes, we have class on Saturday, not on Sunday.